everybody that's watching. A little bit of a different setting than usual, but here we are. For the people who don't know you, can you introduce yourself?
Yeah, what's up? I'm Lil Texas, coming from America. I'm sure some of you guys know who I am. But yeah, I'm reporting here from Los Angeles. I am from Texas though, but I moved here for the industry and stuff a couple years ago. So yeah, you're with the guy.
Yeah. Shall we start with a little bit of a history lesson, where you came from and how to get started in music?
Yeah, of course. I've always been into music. I was a bass player for a long time. And, back a while ago, I started getting into production. Wasn't really feeling being a sideman and doing studio work and things like that. It just wasn't really what I was interested in doing anymore. And so I shifted into production, and I was doing, trap and club music for a long time. And I had a little bit of success in the 2013, 2014 with that. But yeah, I kind of quit music for a little while to rethink things, and ended up, starting to produce hardcore, which was something that I had always loved. I had always, been really into the old school stuff and just hardcore in general. But then I kind of found a love for the modern sound with the up-tempo stuff. And I honestly like everything.
Yeah.
I'm not very centered in one genre, although I am technically an up-tempo producer. I mean, I just released a track with Radical Redemption that's 160, and Yellow Claw. So we're doing everything. And I just found my passion in the harder styles, and it really took off for us. So we haven't really looked back since then.
So because you say you're really open-minded when it comes to music and stuff, do you feel that's something that could be better in hard dance scene? Because I have that feeling sometimes. So I wonder what your thoughts about that are.
Yeah, I mean, it does seem a little rigid to me in Europe, but people like what they like, and there's so much. I think within just the harder styles in general, there's so much passion, and it's such a deep cultural thing, especially for Holland and Italy, and especially Holland. It's it's so it's we bleed for this shit. You know what I mean? And that's what I love about it. That's one of the aspects that I love so much. But it does seem a little crazy. It seems a little stringent. It's if you make up tempo, you can't make raw, or if you like terror, you can't up tempo, or industrial, whatever. And I personally just like stuff in every genre. Not every song is good, but I'll listen to some euphoric hardstyle every once in a while. Why not? It makes me happy.
Yeah,
it's fun. It's very catchy.
Is that different in the USA and here in the Netherlands, because you named the Netherlands?
Oh yeah, absolutely. When I DJ in the States, which was a big selling point for me, actually, not even really realizing it. I spin raw, mainstream hardcore to up tempo, and then even some terror speedcore in one set. And that people really, really like that, actually, because most American fans don't really have a lot of hard dance shows, So if they do, there might be one artist on a festival that plays hardstyle or something. And so to kind of get a little bit of everything from one of my sets, because that'll be sometimes the only set on a festival that's hardstyle hardcore. They really enjoy that, because it's these people are listening to Malice, but they're also listening to Cryogenic, and because that's me. That's me. I'm listening to Malice, but I'm also listening to Cryogenics. So I like it all, and it's nice. But when I DJ in Europe, I pretty much am on up-tempo stages, and I play 200 and up, which I also actually really like. I wish I could do that more in the States, but I don't know if we're ready for that yet.
Not yet. It's so weird. I've never been to a festival in the States, so I'm always really curious about the difference in people and music there with here. It's really interesting. Same with different countries in Europe as well. So what are your thoughts on the current state of affairs within hardcore?
I personally, I think there's a lot of people pushing boundaries. I think there's a lot of really, really powerful production, and people are stretching themselves with new kicks and stuff, which is a big part of why I fell in love with up-tempo in specific. Although it gets a bad rap in a lot of circles, you know, to me, the up-tempo scene is really like pushing the like boundaries on what a kick can be. And I personally love that. It's really like punk rock to me. And I've always been a really big fan of like punk and metal and grindcore and things like that. And so when I hear these just like brutal kicks that are like fast and kind of like rough a little bit, and maybe like not technically the best kicks, you know what I mean? But to me, they carry this just like really raw, just unbelievable sound. Same with guys like Sick Mode. You know, I think his new record was just like full of just amazing kicks that were just pushing the limits, and Thyron and Crypta and these guys are really like pushing the boundaries, you know. I actually like where hardcore's at. It seems like it's growing just in general, and I think within the chaos of the world, especially now, I think that sound, that roughness and the speed and the like almost, for some people, chaotic vibes is really like the soundtrack of the world.
Yeah.
So I'm
actually really curious where the next months, like without events, are going to bring us with music, because producers will get like a lot of time in the studio.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So you're very experimental yourself, as you said. And so how does that work in the studio? Like, do you have some sort of rhythm, like how you work, or is it just...
Yeah, I have some like kind of formats that I use. I usually write before. I don't like make a kick and then write a song to a kick.
Okay, yeah.
I rarely do that. That seems to me counterintuitive, because then it's like you're trying to fit something that should be just like something that flows from you into like a box. It's like, okay, here's this kick and we have to make everything to this kick. It's like I write the music and then the kick I write to the song, you know, so it feels more catered that way. I have some formats that I do, you know, I've got like some intro stuff that I do, breakdowns. Like I kind of rotate around with the way I'm setting my songs up, but by and large, I don't know, you know, it's I kind of just sit down and write, and I write how I feel that day. So some days it's faster than others, and other days it's slower, and I draw a lot of inspiration from things outside of hardcore and music outside of hardcore, and that's what keeps me sort of fresh, but also in my own little world, so I don't get too influenced.
That's what I wanted to ask. So then where do you get most of your inspiration from?
I listen to so much different music, you know, all the time. Like lately I've been really going back and going through like the grindcore catalog. So bands like, you know, Napalm Death and Agoraphobic Nosebleed, Pig Destroyer. And to me, it like really like has a lot of close ties with the hardcore community. In fact, there's like a really cool Drox remix remix from a record from 2006 on Agoraphobic Nosebleed, which I thought was really cool. There's like just this terror remix on this grindcore record from 2006, and I was like, wow, this is like, I knew I was onto something with this. So I draw a lot of influence from there because it's brutal, it's fast, and a lot of like early rave stuff, everything from like the Prodigy and like you know, that sort of era to like early Prodigy though, early UK sound, early XL Records sound, into, you know, early hardcore like fucking Buzz Fuzz and DJ Weirdo and stuff like that, and Rob G, obviously, Omar, all those guys. So I listen. So basically, what I'm trying to say is, I listen to a lot of up tempo, and I'm aware of what's happening. And like when Andy releases his record and DRS releases his record and Cryo's releasing his stuff, I'm paying attention. I'm listening to everything, but I'm not really like concerned with making those kicks afterwards or like writing like they do. That doesn't really concern me.
Is that
I'm
maybe,
concerned.
yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, is it maybe also because like they're all European guys, right? And you're like in the USA. Does that play a role or not at all?
Um, it's more that like the problem with the one problem I do have
Mm-hmm.
with the harder styles is that it seems that somebody makes a cool kick and then everybody copies it. You
Yeah.
know, it's like there's not much sometimes, not always, but there seems to be this trend of that, and that's in every genre. You know, I think that every genre has that, and like I just don't want to be like, what'd you say?
No, because people see that it works and then they want to make something that works well, right? Yeah.
Exactly. But I want to be the guy who makes the cool kick.
Yeah.
You know, I want to be the guy who makes the kick that everybody copies. So I kind of just like stay out of it. I don't like try to copy anything necessarily. Like if I do like a sound, I'll try to get something close to it. But then I kind of stop. I'm like, you know what? This is close enough. Like I don't need to like replicate this because I want to be original more than anything. And like that's been my biggest selling point, that I'm different, you know? And why fix something that isn't broken, you
True.
know?
That's true.
Although I do get a lot of shit, but whatever, you know, it's fine.
Yeah. Is that fine? Do you deal with that easily?
There's only been like one time where it was like pretty like, oh God, fuck. But like, other than that, no, I'm fine. You know, they always say like, if you don't have haters, you're not doing it right. Or if you know, if you've got haters, you're doing, you know, you're making waves and
Yeah.
stuff like that. And I think that that's just part of the game,
Yeah.
you know, for me, and being an American and like being pretty loud and like out there with my brand and my personality. Yeah. People are like, oh, he's peacocking. Oh, he's, you know,
but that's
look at
also
me.
very American, right? Like,
Yeah.
I'm filming with Rob G, and he's like exactly the same, like very out there, very loud. It's just, yeah, I don't know how to
I
explain.
love Rob G. He's
Yeah.
he's like a mentor to me. Me and him talk all the time. Absolute legend. And yeah, I've been super influenced by him because he's like a rocker, you know, he's like a punk, and like to me that's cool, and those are the kind of guys that I strive to be like, you know, because and I live in LA. I don't know, I'm on some like Hollywood shit, you know.
So what are your thoughts on working with other people? Like, you have done like lots of collabs and stuff, so tell me.
Yeah, well, I just had one come out with Andy the Core. That was really fun working with him. Love the
His new
Italian guys.
album, right? Or what is?
Yeah, it's on his new album.
Yeah.
Super fun working with him. I just had a track with Yellow Claw and Radical Redemption, which was like huge for me. I mean,
cool.
Joey is,
yeah,
because watching Joey go through his kick folder was like made me like rethink my whole life. I was like, all right, well, back to the drawing board. But yeah, it's been fun. I worked with Rob and DRS on a track recently, and I've got a ton of like tracks with up-tempo guys, you know, from like Soul Blast, who I think is going to be pretty sick, you know, guys like him, and Insane S, and System Overload, some people like that.
Yeah.
I just have a collab in April coming out with Deadly Guns, which will be very cool.
So how do you work? Like, because you're obviously on the other side of the ocean, do you just like Zoom or Skype, whatever, like this, or do you just send stuff to
we
each
just
other?
send stuff back and forth, you know. It's kind of like, hey, you start it or I start it, check out this idea. And they send me the session, and I, you know, add some of my flavor into it, maybe restructure some things if I want, and we kind of just go from there. It's actually been really easy to get it done. The Deadly Guns collab, I actually started that, and then he like, you know, went through it.
Yeah, because you also do quite a lot in different genres, both playing sets like last week and also creating music. So why and how, like, why did you think I want to create a track in this other genre or whatever?
Oh, you mean like the collaborations with people outside of the hardcore?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, sorry, I formulated it weird.
Well, that was like, I've always thought that that would be cool, but was also some like
Yeah,
advice that was given to me too. They're like, hey, you're an American. You're in like, for all intensive purposes, you're in the American EDM market, you
yeah,
know? Like it's only been recently that I've got into like the European hardcore market with signing with Most Wanted and blah, 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 and them helping me out, Masters of Hardcore and stuff.
yeah,
And so initially it was just like, I'm the hardcore guy in EDM, you know? So
yeah,
it's like, I play after a dubstep DJ, and then a dubstep DJ will play after me, you know? And so everybody goes for an hour to see me, and they're like, what the fuck? And then they like go back to the house stage or whatever the fuck they like. But it's caught a lot of attention from like dubstep guys. It's caught a lot of attention from just kind of bass producers in general. And they want to like kind of venture into that. So like Sullivan King is a good example. He does like metal dubstep. He
yeah,
plays guitar. He's huge and amazing. And so he reached out to me and I was like, well, what do you want to do? Like maybe like 160, like, I don't know, like 150, 140, like how are we going to do this? And he was like, bro, I want to do 200. And so like, he sent me his thing and, you know, these guys want to do the 200
yeah.
thing.
That's really
It,
cool.
yeah. It's like all the raw guys who play that 200 track at the
Yeah,
end of the set.
and
It's
also
kind of
like,
like that.
yeah, like the house DJs that play that one hardstyle track at the end of the set here in the
Yeah,
Netherlands.
yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah,
And everybody loves it. So
yeah,
it's
true.
become a thing. People know what it is now, you know?
Yeah. So do you feel like you have a big role in that? Maybe also towards other people, like
Uh,
yes,
you know, I don't want to be like, yeah, this was all me, but
of course.
because it's
Yeah,
not, you
yeah,
know, the framework of American hardcore was set up in the 90s by Rob G and Omar and Lenny and Delta 9 and all these guys who I love.
yeah,
Um, and Rob and I are close. I don't really know the other guys, but I'm a huge Lenny D fan. And I I just haven't ever talked to him really. But I that is my goal. That's what I can say. Whether or not it's like me and whether or not I've had some like resurgence role in this, my goal is to just expose people to this genre that might not have, you know, previously been even aware that it
yeah,
existed. Because that was the deal in the EDM scene, the mainstream EDM festival scene. My feeling was that people didn't even know 200 BPM was even possible, maybe, you
yeah,
know, in America at
yeah,
least. And they because that was the shocking aspect of my brand originally. It was like, what? Like people were going, I didn't even know that was a thing. And meanwhile, like the uptempo scene is thriving in Europe. Frenchcore is like, you know, 200 mostly, you know what I mean? And it's, you know, Seth is crushing it and Peacock's crushing it. And I'm like, yeah, this is already really popular, you know? And I just loved it. So for me, it was like, yeah, check this out. This is another like scope of music that you guys can get into. And it's intense and it's fast and it's hard.
yeah. So, what are your thoughts on the role of social media in an artist's life? And I have the feeling that it's becoming more and more important, but also people are um, becoming more chill with it, where it was very like strict in the beginning, like what you could post and whatnot. It feels like it's become a little bit chiller. So, what are your thoughts on that, and how do you deal with that yourself?
Yeah, no, I mean, I love social media personally
Same.
because social media is how I went from like no one knowing who the fuck I was to people knowing who I am and people listening to my music. And ultimately, I think every artist really wants that deep down. You know, some people will say, oh, I don't care. I do it for the love of the music. But it's like, yeah, but wouldn't you like love to quit your day job and just be a DJ? Like
Of course.
maybe, you know, like deep down, I think every
Yeah.
artist really wants that 15, 16-year-old kid who wants to be a rock star. Like it's in there somewhere, you know? And for me, social media is clearly the easiest way to get exposure and reach audiences that you would never be able to and get in contact with people that you love and all that. And, you know, it really, really, really is something that I think artists should take seriously. And the way to do that is just make it a part of your creative process, that it takes practice like anything, and takes trial and error and some craftiness and a little bit of wittiness, you know, to it. And you find what works for you as an artist, you know, where my brand isn't going to work with somebody who's like an introvert, you know. I'm like extreme extrovert, like just in general, like in my life, like I'm so not an introvert at all. I wear my feelings on my sleeves and I'm just out there. So that works for me because it's organic, you know, it's all me. And I see people try to do things that other DJs do that work for them, but won't end up working for them because it's not organic. And on the subject of things chilling out, like you said, I think that people are so exposed to social media now, and there's so many people online that people actually can tell when it's fake.
I feel like people, like artists, are posting more about themselves, about their lives, instead of just the press pics and the photos from festivals. Which is fun to see, you know.
See, I like that too, because I like the like human aspect of the artist, you know. Some artists are not like that, and it's like, but you got to fully commit in this day and age to being that like distant figure.
Yeah, but that's also why I love doing these interviews, because you get to see a part of an artist you normally never see, right?
Totally. And I personally just like to like have people involved in my life, you know what I mean? And because it makes me more relatable. And to be honest, like the music is it's extreme for a lot of people. We didn't grow up with it, you know, so it's shocking, and it's like, what is this? Like, why is everybody in tracksuits and their heads are shaved? Like, what's going on, you know? And I'm like, whoa, that's cool. I'm like, I want to do that, you know. But for a lot of people, it's extreme, and that sort of kind of like relatability, and that it's like, oh yeah, he's this crazy dude, but also he's like cooking food for like his friends, and like they're just hanging out, and he's like a normal person. Like this is just his art. I think that helps build more fans, actually.
Yeah.
For me.
Yeah, I agree as well. Like people like to see that, and that's what I noticed when I'm talking like with my followers, what people want to see, what I want to film. It's always these kinds of videos that they're really interested in. So
totally.
You also got like this really on point brand, like you're even wearing your hat now, right? So when did that start? Like, was it straight from the beginning? You're like, I'm Lil Texas, let's do this? Or what's the story?
No, actually, the honest to God truth was like, I was in trap, you know what I mean? So it was kind of this like early trap branding, you know, it was like, yeah, Lil Texas, like trap, woo, you know what I mean? And I just kept the name for some reason. I don't know. I just kept it because I had some followers, you know, and I just never wanted to change the name. I don't know why. I just didn't. And then I played a festival called Wasteland, which is a big hardcore and hardstyle festival in the States. And this is back in the end of 2018 or middle of 2018. And because I had been DJing hardstyle in my sets, you know, I'd been playing some like hardstyle, hardcore at the end of my shows. And because I loved it. It was fun. And then I just played a show and I wore the hat once. Like that was it. I just had this cowboy hat with a skull on it that I bought for like $4 at a gas station in Arizona. And I was like, yo, I should wear the hat today. I was like, let's wear the hat. Like, fuck it, you know? And so I put it on, and the set went like really, really well. And everyone was like, whoa. And then I was like, wait, why haven't I done this? Like, my name's Lil Texas. Like, I should like do this. And like timing was good too, with like Old Town Road and all that cowboy stuff. And it actually was, I don't know. And so now it's just stuck, you know, and I mean, I'm from Texas. My family, half of my family is like very, very, very Southern. And like, they got accents and everything. They're like, hey, what's going on? How are you?
It's really not that bad.
Yeah, no, I don't have it. My dad's from Chicago. I'm from Dallas.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
got canceled out. I don't know. I think, but my mom, she's like, "Hey, Sam, how you doing? Oh my God." She talks like that.
So
So
yeah, that's cool. So what are your thoughts on fashion in the scene? Because as you said, it's very much tracksuits and stuff. But like me, I'm very much like usually I'm just a sweater, and honestly, I'm not even wearing jeans right now. But I love to dress up for a festival, honestly. But you know, I'd like to hear your thoughts on our fashion sense here in the Netherlands. It's bad.
yeah, I don't know, you know, I personally, I do like the, like, you know, Gabber
Yeah.
fashion or Haber fashion. I'm trying to pronounce G's like a Dutch person would.
Gabber.
Haber.
Yeah.
I can't do it, but it's so hard for me.
Yeah.
But I really like that aspect, and that was what initially drew me into hardcore, was like watching the Thunderdome videos, and I was like, oh my God, there's like an outfit. This is like a cultural movement. Like, this is so cool. Like look at this. Like, this was epic. Like, this reshaped the world in the like end of the 90s and middle of the 90s,
Yeah.
or like beginning too. But this was like such a powerful, huge movement that came out of this small country, but actually, you know what I mean, comparatively to like a lot of countries in the world. And it's kind of,
tiny.
yeah, it's remarkable that like 80% of like the biggest DJs in the entire world are all Dutch.
If I drive 3 hours, doesn't matter in what direction I go, I'll leave the Netherlands. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
yeah.
And it's just so, it's so crazy. So there's this rich tradition of electronic music in your country, because you guys are really fucking good at it. It's like, you really are, and I respect. So I really personally like that. I would like to see more cool fashion, like, and more like, even in America too. I think there's like the DJ outfit, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
yeah, jeans and a t-shirt is usually here the way to go.
yeah.
I tell
And
some guys, like, every time I film with you, you're wearing the same shirt. Buy some clothes, please.
I have this thing where like I can't DJ in the same stuff. Like sometimes I will, like it just depends, but like
Yeah.
I'm always like, oh, I need a new shirt, or like I need to do something different. I need a new tattoo or something. Like, oh, we got to make this different than the last time, you know?
Yeah.
So I would like to see more of that. I think
Yeah.
that that's cool, or like, you know, a little more.
It's so different too. And like when you can easily see the people that are not from the Netherlands on festivals, like when they come from the USA or whatever. It's so easy to tell where people are from what they are wearing. It's really funny.
I remember
Also,
I played Tomorrowland last
yeah.
year, and I walked into the backstage area, and every single person in that backstage was like, who the fuck is that? And I was like, I was alone too. Like my managers didn't come with me. It was just like me in Belgium
Yeah.
alone, you know? And like, I hit my friend up, Ben Nicky, and I was like, Ben, are you here? Like, I need to talk to you, man. I'm alone.
Yeah.
Help me. They're all staring at me, man.
Oh man, yeah, that's really fucking funny actually. So I got some questions from like people I asked on my Instagram from, what do you
Cool.
want to know about Lil Texas? So a few
Yeah.
questions were like, what are you into when it comes to like books, movies, stuff like that? So
Oh, sweet.
yeah.
Yeah. That's a great question. I love stuff like that. Books. I was really obsessed with this author, Haruki Murakami, who
Oh
does
yeah,
like
I've heard, yeah.
he's amazing. Yeah, the Wind Up Bird Chronicle, 1Q84 is another book he did. Hard Boiled Wonderland. I've read like 7 or 8 of his books.
Yeah.
Super interesting. Not very like, not a lot of like big words and stuff. It's much more plot driven, but it's very beautiful, and the stories he like crafts kind of blur the lines between supernatural and reality, which I think is really cool.
That sounds cool.
Yeah, super dope. I also really like Raymond Carver, who's a short story author, from the States. Kind of depressing, but really good short stories about just like sort of American life in like the 60s and 70s and 50s.
Somehow I'm drawn to the more depressing books and stories. I don't know what it is.
Read Raymond Carver.
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
depressing,
Yeah.
but it's like
It's
really good.
Okay.
Yeah. He was Haruki Murakami's biggest influence.
Oh,
So
really?
that's why I looked him up.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, this guy's really influenced by this guy. Let me go one step deeper and start reading these short stories from this dude. And you can tell the way he writes is the same. The stories are different, but the way that they go through is very similar. I watch a ton of documentaries. I also like love anime, like especially like dark, gory anime.
I recently watched Castlevania. I love it so much. It's so good. I never watched it, and then I need to get.
So
I want to get a bleach tattoo, like the.
Oh my god, I love Bleach. Is one of my favorites. This is a Death Note tattoo, so that's.
I can see. Fucking good.
Yeah, it's Ryuk.
Did you see my cosplay at the Carnival Festival? I was.
Wait, which? You were Bleach.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were Ichigo with the mask when.
And it was really funny because I was wearing a mask, so nobody recognized me. It was like the first festival where people weren't coming up to me, so which was actually kind of nice for some time. I love when people do it, but it was really nice to be anonymous for one time. But then the other hand, people came up to me like, "Oh, you're from Bleach," which was so fun to see that so many people actually recognized.
I thought that was really cool. I remember seeing that on Instagram, and I was like, "Nice, hell yeah!"
Yeah.
I like Akame ga Kill, which is one season, very good. Naruto is my all-time favorite.
I never finished it. I know it's bad.
It's long.
Yeah.
You gotta.
Same with One Piece. I love One Piece, but like I'm just stuck halfway through, and like, 300 episodes to go.
It's so bad. It's gnarly. Death Note was great. Parasite the Maxim was really good. I liked Ajin, which was a Netflix one. Also really cool. Psycho-Pass, incredible. Psycho-Pass was unbelievable.
Have you seen Mob Psycho? Mob Psycho?
Only like the first like couple episodes.
Really good as well. It was from the same guys as One Punch Man, I think. So really good animation and stuff.
I liked My Hero Academia, actually.
Yeah, still need to finish that,
Super, it's more like lighthearted, you know what I mean? So sometimes I like to watch those.
Sometimes that's nice, though.
Yeah. But I watch a lot of documentaries, too. Like, I do a lot of, like I've been on this, like, history kick lately, which is, like, super nerdy. But, like, I watched a documentary on, like, the Byzantine Empire, like, a week ago.
Yeah.
And I found it, like, really fascinating. I was like, whoa, Constantinople, like... made Christianity huge and like built the craziest city in the East. I just find that really fascinating.
You also get so much random knowledge from stuff like that, and somebody mentions something like that and just go on for an hour about one thing that nobody's interested in. But I watched the documentary, so I know.
That happened to me a week ago. This girl was like, I'm in a class and we're studying like the rise of Christianity. And I was like, Constantinople. She was like, oh my God, we just studied him. And I was like, I know. Or Constantine.
So
I was like, he was the guy. And she was like, how do you know that? And I was like, because I'm a fucking nerd.
I actually have the password of my friend's Disney Plus account, and all I watch like are the Nat Geo things. And she was like, oh, I can't believe my boyfriend's been watching those. And I was like, no, it was me. Sorry.
No, yes. So that's kind of, and I watch a lot of movies. I watch a lot of horror movies. Like I'm really, really, really into horror. And like sci-fi, supernatural stuff, and Game of Thrones. You know.
Did you watch Supernatural, like the series?
No, I actually have not. But I should, huh?
Yeah, I still need to finish that too. I stopped like around season 10, and now they're finishing up. So I'm waiting till they're finished to watch the rest. But it's really good. Though the first episodes are really old, and really fun.
Cool. Yeah.
Okay. One other question was, what music are you into? But you mostly answered that already. Oh, a really fun one was, what's the craziest thing you've done in the name of love? That's a good one, right?
Oh my God, man. What's the craziest thing I've done in the name of love? Wow. Oh. That's such a tough question. I don't know.
Not my fault. I didn't think of this.
I mean, there's been a couple times where I've like lost it a little bit and maybe made a few too many phone calls in a row.
We've all been there, I suppose.
I wish, I don't know, actually. I really don't know. I wish there was some like, I wish I like bought someone a car or something, but I like never did anything like that. And like,
that's a bad idea.
Yeah.
Okay. So the other one was, what's the most embarrassing moment on stage or at a party?
Oh my God, I got one for that one.
Okay.
So I did the classic DJ fuck up back. This is like 2014 or something. I was in Santa Cruz, California, Santa Cruz. And I got on the mic and I go, "What's up, Santa Clara?"
Oh.
I was drunk. I was drinking then. I don't drink anymore. And I was drinking then. And everyone was like, "Boo."
I love
like,
it when DJs come to the Netherlands and doesn't matter where they are, they say, "What's up, Amsterdam?" And we're like, no. It happens so often.
Really? Oh
yeah, I've heard it a few times actually, which is but mostly at like the house festivals, right?
I'm sure like if you're in Rotterdam, people will be like, "Fuck you."
Yeah.
That's probably the worst that's ever happened on stage.
Yeah.
There's been some like technical errors that have been pretty bad, but not on my part. Like I DJ'd at EDC Orlando and it was raining and the mixer just turned off.
Yeah.
Just like in the middle of my set, just turned off. And it took 5 minutes to get a new mixer up there. And so I had to run out to the crowd and like I was like, oh.
5 minutes are long when you're on stage and you have to wait.
Yeah. 2 minutes is a long time. I was like up there, so how's everybody doing?
So weren't you like really, I'd be so awkward and upset. Like not upset, but like I wouldn't know how to handle that, man. Yeah.
I'm pretty good at stuff like that, but like
yeah, that sounds like a nightmare.
It was not cool. But
okay. I also gotta give us your best yeehaw. So I suppose you have to do that.
Yeehaw, brother. Yeehaw, baby. There you go. You know, some people I feel like people really want the like yeehaw, like some shit like that, but that's not how I do it.
You don't even have the accent. It's fake.
No, yeah. That I really don't have a Texas accent. I can put it on really well though, like because I grew up with it.
Demonstration, please.
Demonstration, please. I got you right here. You know, if I need to talk like a Southern person, I absolutely can. It's totally fine. It's pretty good.
Damn. Okay, I'm proud of you. I can't do accents at all. People always ask, "Oh, do an accent." I cannot. Like, I used to.
Dutch is so hard. It's like literally like what? Like I like read the words and I'm like, that sounds like that. Like what? How is that? Yeah, it's really confusing for me. Like German is way easier for me to like pronounce and like speak and I can speak a little Spanish too. So like Italian and Spanish aren't that hard for me, but Dutch is just like literally foreign. I can't even begin.
But it's because we also have sounds that you don't have, I think. Like the G, as you said.
Yeah.
So that's hard. Because actually, I was talking to Greg about this, but he does have the G because he's Scottish, right? So he has less trouble with that, but it's still very hard.
I can't understand Greg, and he speaks English.
You know, that's very true.
Sometimes I'm like, what, dude?
Yeah.
Like, what did you just say? I know that was English. I have no clue what you just said, bro. Thick Scottish accent, man.
Yeah. You get used to it after a while. But I remember the first, like, I think 2 or 3 years ago, I had to do an interview with him for the first time. I was so fucking nervous because I was afraid I wouldn't be able to understand him. Imagine doing an interview and just not understanding the other person.
Yeah.
but yeah.
She's like, yes.
I survived. Okay, that were pretty much all my questions. We've been talking almost an hour, by the way. So.
Oh shit! Wow.
Yeah. Well, we started, 40 minutes at least. So if you have anything that you want to tell, this is your moment.
Yeah, no, just, we got a lot of music coming out, and I'm really happy with the way that things are going. And, I'm just going to, stick to my guns. And if there's anything I can say, there's a lot of people think that I'm just this like brand concocted by people, to like infiltrate hardcore. I don't know. But really I just like, yeah, exactly. Like who, yeah, a cowboy. Yeah, exactly. It's gonna totally work. But yeah, I mean, I just really love the genre, and I really love the music, and I'm really grateful that I've been given a lot of these opportunities that I have, and to be able to do this as an American, and to be able to get to go over and play shows and do festivals and stuff, and getting a track out on Masters of Hardcore, whether you like it or not, like that meant a lot to me, obviously. And that was like a lifelong dream of mine, so I do it for the love of the music, and that's really everything for me. It's just, that's it. Like, I just love, like, I'm seriously obsessed with it.
Yeah, like, but that's also what you hear, like, in this conversation. Obviously, you really love what you're doing, so that's really fun to hear.
Yeah.
My
especially
cat
up-tempo.
just...
Hey, I'm allergic to cats.
Really? Oh,
yeah, bad.
That's
like really bad.
Oh, that's so bad. Okay, what's your favorite animal? Last question.
I like dogs for sure, but like little dogs. Like I love like chihuahuas. Like little
chihuahuas.
me, like Paris Hilton and me, like little rat dogs.
Okay.
They're like,
somehow that makes a lot of sense. Paris Hilton and you.
Yeah, I would like carry a chihuahua around in like a bag.
I can see you do that, actually. Yeah.
And show up to Dominator with Dominator. Oh man,
I'd love to see that.
Oh man, they'll hate me.
No, that would be very on brand though, somehow. I don't know.
Yeah, it'll be fun, you know.
Poor dog though. Poor dog. Going to Dominator.
We'll put headphones on.
Oh, I love that. Somebody needs to make art of this, like just you with a little dog with a
Okay. Or like the little goggles that they wear at the beach,
Yeah. Or those at Dominator, a lot of people wear those like goggles on their head. That seems to
be exactly.
Which are really cool.
Here's my
Your
son.
Baby.
Yeah.
Cute.
So cute.
Very cute. This is my demon baby. He seems very sweet, but that's
he is.
I do.
Apparently, he puts his arms down when I go to bed, but I've never seen him do it. Oh wow.
Nice, right?
I like that.
Go party here. Anyway, I'm gonna thank you because else we'll be talking for another hour. I think.
All good.
Yeah. No, that's not good. I need to edit this.
Edit it up. It's all good. I gotta go work.
Oh, true. Okay, so thank you so much. For the people watching, follow both of us, please. I'll link everything down below and speak to you soon.
Awesome. This was really fun. Glad we made it work.
Yeah. It's fun to see how much we have in common, actually. I did not expect it. Wow. Yeah. Okay. Speak to you soon.
Bye.
Yeah.